I need to clear my throat.
Let me clear my throat.
Dun, 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 dun. I knew that one. Did you expect that?
No, I did not.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 143 of How Married Are You?
Okay, my name Belief. This is Yvette, and we've been married
12 years.
Live in California. We got four
kids.
Relationships scary is very necessary. We share our love and struggles. We ask
How married are you?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, shoddy. If you're listening, you're in a wedding party. It's okay if you want to put your hands up. You got the questions, we got the answers.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
It's chocolate baby story time.
1, 2, 3, and you was just cruising on Instagram right now.
I am like in one of those places where I am done.
Yeah.
And I don't know when I'm going to be out of this place. Sorry.
What are we talking
Glenn's like, you know what
this ain't chocolate baby story time.
But ain't it?
You made some
I just
audio.
feel like it's too much responsibility. I don't want to be lifing anymore. I just want to be free as a bird and just live and have fun.
Vacation next month, babe. You get to go on a solo vacation next month.
I know. And then there's like the peer pressure from myself to be productive there. But I'm thinking that the theme is rest is productive.
Rest is productive. Very good.
But it's also the only time when I can have focused attention to like write and dream and do all the things.
Yeah. Won't you?
So it feels like I need to be like a visionary when I go.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I'm so sorry. That's not true. Can we be productive?
It's chocolate.
Now,
it's not productive for you to vent, Yvette. Right now, it's chocolate baby story time.
Absolutely. You can always vent.
But not on the mic.
No, you can vent on the mic. I'm just saying we have already recorded 20 minutes of this. And then we had a really good start.
We ain't got nowhere to be. It's Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
Babe, it is not Valentine's Day per the internet. Valentine's Day is like 3 weeks ago. Well, all I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying?
I need to clear my throat.
Let me clear my throat.
Dun, 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 dun. I knew that one. Did you expect that?
No, I did not. Because that's a deep. It's like a deep cut to me. All right. Oh, we're at chocolate baby story time. Okay. Okay, chocolate baby story time. All right. We just celebrated Theo's birthday. It's been amazing. Actually, it hasn't. It's been a lot. We spent a whole day with him. His grandparents spent a whole day with him. And then we had a party. And we don't like to do parties no more. And
I'm over parties.
Yvette keeps saying she's not going to do parties no more. And then she keep doing parties. And then she tells me
it's because they
I
talked
planned the
me
party.
into it.
I had the party. No, I didn't plan the party. I didn't say I wanted a party. Anyway, so Theo's big thing was he wants to be an only child again. So for his birthdays, he likes to spend the day with just Yvette and I. But he treats us like we're brother and sister. You know what I'm saying?
Like we're the homies.
Yeah, like we're the homies. Like, I want to do this and I want to do that. Oh, you're that. So we're playing hockey, right? And I'm out there. My feet are hurting. My back is hurting. Playing with a wooden stick, and I'm getting splinters in my hand. It's a lot. He's like, let's play full court. And I'm like, I don't want to play full court, man. We don't need to do that. It's half court. It's half rink. We're fine. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, whatever you want to do. And I was like, such and such and such and such. It's not happening. He goes, your mama. I just was like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just was so asinine that he would even say something like that to me. And then I realized, like, he's learning that from his friends. And I'm just kind of like, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dumb. That's your grandmother, first of all. Two, who are you talking to like that? And it's like the kids just keep talking to me like I'm not like that, but I'm like that. So then I started to Baltimore it up a little bit, right? And so as I'm playing hockey, I'm leaning on him. I'm doing all types of things to him that make him frazzled. He's starting to cry. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get the puck. At one point, he ends up on the floor. I'm still trying to get the puck. I end up rolling over his fingers. It was bad. By mistake. But at the same time, I was like, you all right? You be all right. You know what I'm saying? But once you go to the Mama Joe's and start treating me like I'm a peer, I'm a little childish. You know what I'm saying? So that's my chocolate baby.
Can we not tell stories here? Babe, you are petty 1000%. It don't matter what time of day it is.
Which mean can we not tell stories?
Because you just said once you start telling the mama jokes and da-da-da, it don't have to be mama jokes.
On-
It could just be life.
No. I'm always violated before I violate. Baby, that's not true.
That's true.
It's always somebody who thinks it's the game, and I'm kind of like, I wasn't ready to play. I was not ready.
Oh my!
You want to play games? I got you.
Yeah.
Be aware. Right? What you got, babe?
All right. So today is Valentine's Day, and I volunteered in Theo's class. And today, usually on Tuesdays, I have childcare, but today I didn't have childcare. They called out sick. So I had to bring Uzi with me. Now, Uzi and I arrive at the school. We get to Theo's class. I open the door, and all of a sudden, there is this eruption. I wish you could, is there a sound effect?
I don't think we got one.
There is this eruption. It was as if Jay-Z and Beyonce walked through the door and nobody knew. Actually, I think if Jay-Z and Beyonce walked through the door, everybody would just be quiet. Like, what?
They wouldn't even know who they are.
that population of kids, probably not. But it was like children cheering for their favorite football team that just scored a touchdown. It was insane. It was overwhelming, not just for Uzi, but for me. I was like, what is happening right now? And not only did they start cheering, but they started running up to my poor child, wanting high fives and hugs. And they wanted to pick him up and do all the things. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And where do you think Theo is?
Where is he? Chilling?
Just sitting at the table, watching all of this happen, not trying to stick up for none of us. Because I'm like the security guard at this point. I'm just trying to keep them away from my child. And it was like that the entire party. They just were wanting him to love them. That boy don't even know their names.
He don't care about them existing or not.
No. Yeah, it was just very interesting. And for some reason, I feel like that's going to be Uzi's life.
We got to be very careful because we could be allowing some type of
complex to develop. Yeah, and I'm not about that.
You're not supposed to get celebrated when you walk into a room.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so today we have a very interesting topic. We're talking about the legacy of love. And we wanted to talk about this because I've been seeing on the internet and guys, if you're watching this right now, you see a blue hippo on the table. Lily was in here earlier and she was squeaking this thing. Sorry.
Where is Lily?
I put her in my room. So,
oh Lord.
Yeah. Hopefully it's still intact because she was in here trying to play.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, y'all got time. So yeah. So I've been seeing on social media the constant back and forth between black men and black women. And it's really divisive and it's kind of sad. It's really sad, actually. And I don't think you guys, not you guys, because I know our audience, I think they understand the hope, right? But it almost seems like it's hopeless out there.
Can you say more about this divide, because I don't know what you're talking about.
It's bad, man. It's bad. I can't even explain it because it's so deep. And it started 2 or 3 years ago. I've seen it start 2 or 3 years ago when a lot of mediocre TikTok followings happened, right? And then the manosphere started taking off and Kevin Samuels and all these people have started saying a bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm bashing anybody, but I just think there's something that happened where a shift started taking and it's everyone's blame shifting.
Blame shifting what? What are they blaming?
So it's this is why, black men don't protect black women and don't value black women. This is why they date outside their race. This is why black women are not married. This is why they get old and grow up alone. That. These are the two divides that are happening. And, it's been this weird conversation, but I want to talk about, right, for those of you that don't understand what we do, right, we try to be the proof, right, not the example, the proof, right? And so whatever it is that we've been struggling with, and you guys have had a pretty close eye on what we've been struggling with for the past, 3-4 years now, I think it's pretty amazing the fact that we are working hard together. I guess it was 6 years.
I was going to say it's probably been 4 or 5
nursing.
years.
Yeah. And so as we move forward, I want to talk about kind of like a love story type situation, which is when we got together and I asked your parents for like your hand in marriage, and we had that awkward conversation at the macaroni grill, and they were like, well, do you need help paying the bill? And I was like, if my credit card declined, you can pay the bill. And then at our like engagement party, your mom said something, and she was like, your marriage and your relationship is gonna bless so many people. I just know it. And a lot of people just be talking, but I didn't realize how much the Lord would use our marriage to, and I hate this word, but be a place of influence for other people, right? So, not that we are trying to be like us, but it's just kind of like, hey, just so you know,
Be better than us.
it's a pothole right there.
Yeah.
There's nobody talks about the little kids that run out in the street over here. You know what I'm saying? And this right here is actually it's a cop car right behind this bush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as you're driving along, you know all the things, right, that are coming up. And it's like, we're going to have these conversations and communicate so that it's not a mystery for you.
Amen.
And so, one of the things that we talked about in the e-course is, we have an e-course called The Premarital Advantage, and it's for those of you who are not married. This is conversations you should be having before getting in a relationship. Now, you can be single, you can be engaged, you can be in a relationship, you could be like, I'm talking to somebody, or I'm talking to a few people. You know what I'm saying? However you get down, this is for you. The e-course is $250, but it is essentially the co-labor of premarital counseling. So if you're going through premarital counseling, or before you even start thinking about that, here are a bunch of conversations you want to have. And we serve as your mentor couple. We are mentoring you through the relationship to help you make sure you're making the right decision and making the decision right. And in this e-course, we talk about how children are sponges, right? And I think it's in our family dynamics episode or a module where we're like, if you are a child and you're a sponge, then technically at your big grown age, you're wringing out everything you believe about love, about relationship, about family onto your children, onto your family, your new family of origin. And I wanted to talk about how, actually, let's play a clip from our e-course real quick, and then we'll come back real quick.
Everyone says children are sponges, and if that's the case, when we grow up to become adults, we're wringing out everything that we've absorbed into our own family dynamics, which is why it's super important for us to take time with our partners whom we're thinking about creating a family with, to think about what are the family dynamics that we grew up with that we love, and what are some of the ones that we would like to see show up differently in our own family.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little clip. Once again, you guys can go to howmarriedareyoupodcast.com and buy the e-course. It would be a huge support for us. This is like our first product that we're putting out there besides all the clothes we've released. But this is a very special thing because I feel like it's going to serve so many different people, and we go way more in depth than we go here. And you guys know we go pretty deep here, but we save all the good stuff for the e-course, and the workbook is in there as well. So now we got that pitch out of the way. When we got together and your mom said all that stuff, I didn't realize that our love and the relationship we have was an actual legacy being left, right? So our children are downloading information that they see and they participate in, and they're trying to figure out what they want to keep and what they want to do, and like what they want to keep and what they don't want to keep. And one of the reasons I know that is because Anaya, it will just be like, I ask her, like, what do you want to do when you want to be grow up? And she goes, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what do you want to be? And she's like, a couch potato. And I'm like, no, what else do you want to be? She's like, I want to be married. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like.
She said that? Did you put that in the video?
It's not out.
Oh.
Yeah. I listened to her and I'm like, why?
Did you say why?
No. But I'm just thinking, like, why does this young lady have this extreme love and hope for marriage? And even Theo, right? Raya, I think, think. Raya is very different. So he's like, I don't know what's in it for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, both you guys look tired. What am I gonna get out of this again?
Yeah.
He doesn't understand, nothing really about relationships yet. I think Theo watches. Go ahead.
I actually think Raya has more of an understanding than we give him credit for. I just think he hasn't communicated it yet, and he's just internalizing it and possibly even processing it in and of himself.
Yeah. Yes, because like he's even said stuff like, "Yo, I don't want children," and it's like, "Why not?" He's like, "Can you imagine having another me?"
Yeah.
He's like, He's gonna be breaking up my stuff, and
Which
all that.
shows a lot of thoughtfulness in some ways. I know it seems silly and funny to us, but I do think that it was a very thoughtful response.
Yeah, but I also was like, dang, man, maybe I don't encourage him enough and tell him how great he is because he's not just all breaking things. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a little bit more like sideways looks than it is kind of like, hey, man, you're doing great. You know what I'm saying? But he really does he's a gem of a person. And I want him to get to know that side of him as well. But anyway, our children are picking up everything we're dropping. We're wringing out. It's like doing dishes, right? Like you're wringing out everything you were taught, and then they're gonna wring out everything they were taught. You know what I'm saying? And some of that stuff doesn't belong on our children, And so I want to talk about how we are modeling love as a legacy, right? Like what are the things that our children are picking up right now? What do you think?
I don't know. I just got done challenging myself to do like a little love note to them every day leading up to Valentine's Day.
That was super cute.
Yeah, it was nice. And I think I don't even know. I mean, I can go 2 different places right now, but with that, it's interesting because I realized that that's my love language. Like receiving notes where people tell me, I love you, I appreciate you, whatever the thing may be. That's my love language. And so I missed a morning. There was one morning, it was the night I got sick.
Yeah.
And I just came home and went to bed. And I just came home and I went to bed. And I didn't even wake up in the morning. Like I usually wake up at 5 a.m., but I woke up at 5, took a shower, and just got right back in bed.
Yeah.
And so the kids were up, and I was putting the notes out after bedtime. Like after they'd go to bed, I put a new note up so that when they woke up in the morning, they get it. And so when I finally got out of bed, Thea was like, "Where's my note?" And mind you, I had been doing it for like 10 days at that point. And he hadn't said nothing. I mean, like the first day I was like, "Oh, thank you." But then the days after that, it was kind of like nobody was saying anything. And so it had become just this thing that everyone was expecting. And then I didn't realize that it was a problem when I missed a morning until said person said something. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, that is my way. And then, I don't know, that is my way of loving them, because I know that for me as their mother who does life with them so much of the time, I don't always I look for opportunities to say things, but I also want it to just be written, because there's something about like seeing something and reading it and it going into your mind that way versus hearing it. It's good, I think, for us to experience that type of love in different modalities or different senses, activating different senses or whatever. And so, I don't know, I did it and I enjoyed it and I'm proud of doing it. But at the same time, I'm wondering, what am I creating in them by doing something like that? And then simultaneously, I'm like, maybe I'm not doing nothing, because none of them even wrote me a note for Valentine's Day or anything. Like within the past 14 days or so. I mean, Anaya's always drawing pictures and doing this, that, and the other, but it's like, you know what I mean? So maybe I'm not leaving a legacy. Maybe it's just, I'm not even sure what I'm saying right now.
I think you're. Go ahead.
But it's one of those things too where it's like, okay, I can't do something and expect others to reciprocate it because that is something that I chose to do for them. Like
Yeah.
it's just something that I did. And I think there's something beautiful about being able to model that for them without expectation of getting anything back.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that, like I knew that I wasn't going to get anything back. And so I loved on myself and put hearts up for myself. And I feel like even that is some sort of modeling. Like it's okay for you to affirm yourself and encourage yourself and love on yourself because you can't always count. But it's like these are things that I'm trying to communicate, but I'm not sure if it's actually being internalized that way. And I don't know when I will know if it's being internalized that way.
Yeah. I don't know. I applaud you because I feel like you really be putting effort in, and I also am kind of concerned because I'm kind of like, you can let people down, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why are you saying that?
Because like if you were sick and you couldn't make one, then you were sick. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it was speaking from like a father's perspective. Like I know that I'm trying to lower his expectations of like, bro, sometimes I can't do that. I can't. Like I'm not gonna play you full court hockey because it's not a smart thing to do as a 37-year-old man who doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like my feet, like it's not good. Like I feel the corns coming on my feet, on my toes. I don't like that. Right? And if I don't play half court, and if I play half court, I could probably play longer. But if I play full court, you got another 10 minutes and we're done. And so I think him knowing my limit is important. And I also think you creating a limit for yourself is great.
Yeah, and when he said that to me, I was like, buddy, I was sick last night and I'm still sick. Like I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I was wondering when you did it. He was like, I was trying to listen out to see when you did that.
Yeah. And so I think that it's interesting because we love with expectation. Most of us.
Yeah.
We like give love with the I just did it because I love you. Sometimes. I mean, I did this too because I love you. But when you do that, you give love, and I have a boundary that your love can't scale, jump over. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like I still love you, but this is a boundary for me. You know what I mean? Like, if you do nothing for me, it would be better than you do something because at least I don't owe you anything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is a lot of relationships. We don't even know that we're loving with conditions.
That we as an individual or
like we give love with conditions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to give you this because I love you. Right.
Yeah.
My expectation is that when I need a ride, you come get me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like if this happens to me, you show up for me. Right?
In the same way.
In the same way. Right? And it's kind of like everybody has to know their capacity and like how they give love and what they're willing to do to show up for other people. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't look the same at all. You know, I would love if we, I mean, not you and I, but just people in general, if we could show that we love people and speak exactly like what our expectation is in return. Like I would love that.
Give me an example of what that would look like.
So if somebody's like, oh my gosh, yo, All right, so I would love for someone to say, yo, man, I'm doing this because I love you, but also I'm hoping that you can help me out with this. Like I had a homie hit me up recently, was like, yo, I just want to say, man, like, you know, you don't owe me nothing, man. You don't owe me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do this for you and I want to do that. And the only thing I'm asking for is a relationship with someone else that I know. And I was like, I don't know nobody. Who you want a relationship with? You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm concerned. Because I don't know what that means. I'm not the type of person that's going to put you closer to somebody, put anybody closer to anybody. I don't do that. That's actually an anxiety thing. You know what I'm saying? It makes me nervous. But he told me that and I was like, man, I ain't got nothing for you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whatever it is, I don't think this is a good idea for you to ask me that. You know? Instead of us walking into a blessing not knowing that it's a bill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to bless you with this, but if you read the fine print,
yeah,
you're gonna see that my expectations on the end of that.
Yeah. And I think for me, that is something that I have a challenge with.
Wait a minute, wait. What you mean?
Like receiving love from other people.
Okay, cool.
Like it's really hard for me to receive girlfriends showing at my house and like literally cleaning my house. Or someone saying, girl, you look tired, go upstairs and go to sleep. I'm going to sit here with your kids. Or like whatever it is. Because it feels like, and this is a me thing. Like I'm not even sure that they have a bill, but like when someone extends love to me, I see it as a bill because I'm like, I got to be able to reciprocate this in some way. Yeah. And that I think that comes from my own love legacy, the legacy that was left to me, because I grew up in a village where people just showed up for people. Like they dropped everything and they were there. They were just there. And for me, I don't feel like it's as easy to do that. I feel like for me to show up for people in the way that some people have shown up for me, it would require a lot. Like my yes to them.
Whoa, why'd you point at me when you said that? You said require a lot.
Because if I were to like there are people right now who I know I could show up at their house and let them just go take a shower and like wash some dishes, maybe make lunch for their kids or, whatever. And they would totally appreciate that. But me saying yes to that, I'm saying no to something else. So, and I'm pointing to you because you are my family, you and the children. And usually I'm dropping the ball over here if I'm picking up the ball over there. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time. I think there's a time and a place for that. But I think that as much as I want to be helping out people, that ain't what I'm called to right now. That's not the season that I'm in. I don't have that flexibility of time or liberty of time. You know what I mean?
So I think the thing that would be helpful in those times when you want to go and serve those people, it doesn't have to be a dropping of a ball. It could be a handoff. You know what I'm saying? And, we were just watching the Super Bowl. During the huddle, they're like, yo, I'm going to pass it to this person. I'm communicating who's going to get the ball. So I can run this way, you're going to run this way, and we're going to all pretend we're doing this, but we're doing this. You know what I'm saying? If we communicate the play and we're like, look, I'm going to go over here, or I have a heart to serve this person, what will be the best time for me to do that for our ecosystem? What you laughing at, girl?
So
what are you laughing at me for?
I'm so sorry. I just was telling you about the ecosystem, and now you're trying to just use it.
Babe, I'm really trying to be very strategic about how you can include the next phase of the conversation because we still have 15 minutes left.
Oh, do you want me to bring that up?
Well, I'm passing the ball to you. I'm trying to communicate, and you are exposing me. I'm trying to be stealthy. You know how when we playing like a what's the game that we used to play, the newlywed game? And then it'd be like a game, and you know the answer, and you want me to know the answer, and you just start looking at me all weird. Okay, you got me. You understand? You understand
Yeah.
without saying anything?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do
Just now.
but I was actually talking. So whatever. But what was I saying?
I, feel like
was really
all
making
that should stay in there.
Yeah, it stays in. But I was really I was trying to make a point.
Sorry.
But yeah, I was trying to say that I think it would be great
To pass the baton or
to pass the ball when you want to communicate.
Because we're talking about football, not track.
Right. Well, we can say track. We know who's next in line. We know who's next in line.
Yes.
During the, what is it, 4x4?
Yes.
Okay, so the 4x4, you run a little corner or whatever, and you pass the baton. But that person knows they're next.
Yeah.
And they know when to start, take off running.
But you don't know how often I want to do something. Like even today, being in Theo's classroom, the teacher, she has the largest class out of all the classrooms on campus. And she just lost her teacher's aide. And my experience in that classroom, I'm like, this woman should not be in here by herself. And I'm like, I'll just volunteer in here every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what does that look like? That looks like me dropping Uzi off here and going into her classroom. Anywho, but like...
and I'm just going to say, just for the record, I
am not for that.
We cannot do that
right I know. Now. See?
But I'm just communicating it.
No. And that's what I know. And I think... So I think, too, the other thing is...
Come on now. Bring it.
I feel like, and this is just a me thing, and it may be a you thing if you're watching or listening to the podcast, is definitely not a Glenn thing. But one thing about...
Everybody but me. Got it. Got it.
It's one of those things where, like, I start to have conversations in my head. So when I want to love on somebody, I already assume me wanting to do this is going to inconvenience so-and-so in this way. So I don't even try to huddle. I don't even try to huddle. I just am like, well, that's a stupid play. Let's just see what the team captain got or the quarterback got or the...
Well, I see. And that's the thing is like, if we say, well, I mean, like, I wonder in that situation, if you recognize the teacher and then me being the teacher here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got meetings in the morning, Thursdays. I have the dog here because the dog doesn't listen, right? Like, I have a bunch of content to schedule, plan, get out, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy day for me at all. And
I know. And so that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't make that ask.
But it's not a... I wonder, like, do you also recognize that you are the teacher? Like, you're the one scrambling and should not be alone. So why would you want to show up for somebody else like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
When you literally could put time in doing your own thing and then find support, like get your own aid. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
What happened just now?
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, because you just had a heart positioned for somebody and you saw a need you can meet. And then I was the bad guy. That I'm not that type of person. It's not a Glenn thing. It's not a Glenn thing. I think
No, I'm saying it's not a Glenn thing to think about because, like,
hold on.
I wasn't
I
wasn't even going to bring it to you. Do you understand that?
No, I see.
Like, the thing that's not a Glenn thing is me having the conversation. Glenn's not gonna go for this. It's just not reasonable. So don't even bring it up.
But Glenn, I'm a thinker. So, like, if you come to me and you say, babe, I have a heart for a teacher, Theo's teacher, she doesn't have an assistant. She doesn't have an aide. That I remember being a teacher, and that was really frustrating. I didn't have an aide. When my aide called out, it really adjusted my day. When I was a teacher's aide, and, you know, it really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that could go into that to where we could literally just, like, we can make content about that and just bring it up so that people know that they can become aides for teachers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's other things we can do where we don't actually have to be on the ground and do shallow work, but we can do the deep work that helps other people see, right? And I'm not saying that that work is shallow, but it would be shallow for Yvette to do that work in comparison to
The other work I gotta do.
the work that she's actually called to do, right? Because knowing that you have a degree in teaching and you were a math teacher for years, it's crazy to me that you will become an assistant, an aide. Like, it's kind of like, well, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? So I'm also kind of like, that is also a part of the legacy of love. Like, love being a legacy. Because it's kind of like, all right, if we want to solve problems in the world, we can't, like, if we want to stop world hunger, right? I could right now just go make sandwiches until all our food's gone, and you know what I'm saying, just go give them out to the homeless, right? Or we can grow crops, or we can invest in property and start a farm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different ways that we can solve the problem. We just have to figure out what's the best use of our time, and that's how I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love you. I love that. Okay, that's great.
And you're right, because even like the women that I want to support, like, we all just need Jesus. And a part of me is like, yes, I could show up and be the hands and feet, but I could also create a space where these women have community and help to facilitate growth in the relationship with the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like that conversation about the shallow and the deep work. That's good stuff, babe.
So we've been reading this book called Deep Work. It's by Cal Newport. He's an author. The book is pretty good. It's just real basic principle. A lot of people are focused on shallow work and multitasking. Not a lot of people are getting anything done not a lot of people are getting things done because they're not focused on working deeply. They're not undistracted, focused on one task for an hour and a half, right? Phones off, social media off, television off, music, like everything is just, you're just deeply focused. And he starts to do research on all the people that have done deep work and all the things that they discovered. And we're reading this book as a team. And we were talking today about deep work being rare. And last week we were talking about deep work being valuable. And I was just trying to make the point to the team is not only should we be focusing on deep work, but recognizing that our work is in fact deep. It is impactful and it changes minds and helps influence people to make wiser decisions about their lives. And maybe that's like, I don't want kids. Maybe that's, I don't want to be married. Maybe that's, I do want to be married and I want a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just exposing, which is why it's valuable, because it's rare, right? So our work is valuable, our work is rare. And so next week we're going to be talking about the work being meaningful. And so I'm really enjoying the times that we're having in our team sessions, but that's not the point that we're supposed to be talking about.
You know, I feel like it's not, but I am wondering if, excuse me, if the love legacy we're leaving, or the legacy of love that we're leaving for our kids.
I'm like, come on.
I wish this thing would go away. I was just thinking as you were talking, it was crazy because I was like, man, my work is my kids. Like, that's the work that I'm called to right now. Homeschooling them, loving on them, being present with them. And I wonder how much of my time with them is deep. And does it have to be? Like, is it like, what does that look like? What does deep work at home look like? Does it look like putting my phone on my nightstand and just coming downstairs and like being present? Or is that irresponsible? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if there's an emergency and there's a phone call and I need to answer it? But like, what does that look like? Is that me not washing dishes while they're doing schoolwork? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just interesting.
I think it's self-identifying, right? You know what your distractions are. I'm not saying that you have any distractions, but you know more than I do. You know what I'm saying? And nobody else can tell you where you could be doing better. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, I don't think, I think you're fantastic. I think you kind of, you give yourself a hard time and you make it hard for you to celebrate. So I think you should, give yourself some grace there. But only you can tell yourself where you're shallow. I couldn't tell you. Nobody can. You know what I'm saying? But if we laid out your schedule, it might be some pockets. But it seems like you're operating at maximum efficiency. I think you have to budget to serve those other people that you have a heart for. Right? It's like if we're paying our bills and all that stuff and getting food and we want to go to Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? We got a budget for that. We have to save for that, right? We have to put money aside for that at least, or pay for it early or something like that. But that's because it's a special thing. It's not just kind of like, I'm going to Jamaica. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm going, you know what I'm saying? Like, we that's not our calling right now. You know what I'm saying? Our calling is to be home with our family and working on what we have during the quiet years, right? All right, babe, how married are you?
I'm so married that last time when I did something like the notes to the kids, when I left for 3 weeks, I intended to send Glenn emails or like schedule emails that Glenn would get an email every day. That just didn't happen. And so this time I was like, he will not be left out. So Glenn also got a note every day. Well, the days that I did it.
Beautiful.
I missed a couple of days, but.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I do. It wasn't that I didn't get any letters.
No, I understand.
It was the one letter that you got. Get.
No, but even still, like, it was my intention not to just leave you without hearing from me every day.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want you to just be left behind. And I knew emails would be better because you probably wouldn't know what to do with the paper once you had it.
Yeah.
Like, the hearts right now, you can those can be thrown away if you wanted to.
Can't. All right. That was a good how married are you?
How married are you, my love?
All right. I'm so married that 2 mornings ago, I had the worst situation ever happen to me. And I don't know if anybody's ever been in this situation. It seems like something that would happen on like Michael Scott, like from The Office, would have this happen to him. But I was on a toilet, right? And I'm on the toilet and we got a bidet. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm using the bidet and I turn the knob and I squeeze the knob too tight and it falls off and rolls behind the toilet. Now, it's one of those knobs that it's like from the stove, so you can't turn it with your fingers.
You need a tool.
You need a tool to turn it. And the knob, the bidet is going full blast right on my anus. And it was like 3 seconds, and I was
Where's this going?
Listen,
how is this for me?
Listen.
I'm so confused.
I was like, it was 3 seconds, and I was like, this is too much. I can't do this. And I'm like trying to twist it with my fingers, and it's starting to like hurt. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, we're at like 10 seconds now. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's burning me. So I'm like, okay, if I get up and close the toilet, the water's gonna come out on the other side of the toilet, right? I'm looking for something to grab. I can't find anything. And it's just like the whole time spraying me. And I'm like, I'm like starting to panic now. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call my wife in here to help me. get the knob from behind the toilet. But the space in between the toilet and the cabinet is so tiny, right? You weren't gonna get down there, and I didn't even.
Especially with you still sitting on the toilet and risking the splashing on my cheek.
Exactly, because you know that little gap, and I was just like, I'm just gonna take one for the team, and I didn't call you. I did not call you in.
Oh, that's
how married I am. I did not bother you because. So then what I did was...
You didn't bring me into your crap?
I turned it around and I just held my hand on the bidet.
You turned what around?
My body. I turned my body around. Booty juice leaking all over the floor. I'm blocking the bidet with my hand and I'm reaching back there and I'm like, shh, and the spray's all over me. I'm like, shh.
Was this before or after the shower?
This is before the shower.
Oh, good.
So I put the thing on and I turn it off and I take a very, I took a shower, but I didn't call you in, and I just know for a fact that if it was you,
it would be me.
Babe, if it was you, you would have called me in immediately. Babe, help. Oh my gosh, babe. You'd have been panicking, screaming.
I would have told you to bring a cup or something.
Babe, help. I need your help. And just sitting there looking at me, it would have been crazy.
I would have turned a butt cheek and let it hit the butt cheek and then hit the other butt cheek,
babe,
not just sit there.
Yeah. I didn't know what to do. No, babe. I just sat there and I was like, okay, there's a candle. That's not going to work. There's the thing the candle's sitting on. That's not going to work. That's too far away. And if I would have just got up, it would have sprayed right onto the wall.
And that's just how married we are.